Guys, I want to share some exciting news with you. New bit of kit, cutting edge, I think you'll really like it. It's an £8 radio from eBay. So this is the £12.50 inner tent that I got from Amazon, which I'm going to put inside the RAB tent, which I've got pitched outside. I'll show you that in just a second. The RAB Element 2. So this is designed to go inside the RAB Element 2. Well, it's not designed, but I've bought it and I'm hoping that it will work. But at £12.50, it's anybody's guess. So the RAB Element 2 was already set up. I was just checking it for hopefully a wee overnight tonight, and I didn't realise this inner would appear so quickly. So that's a bonus. I'm going to try and put this inside just now, and we will see if this actually works. One wee observation about the RAB element is in the main tension areas and where it's double stitched with another patch on it, it tends to collect water, I've noticed, when it's heavy rain. Just a wee bit annoying, means it will take longer to dry out without creating mould on the fly sheet. Like so. That's maybe a wee bit off centre. Let's bring that across a bit there. Right, okay. You'll see there's a centre zip runs right up there, which is where you get into it, almost like a bivvy bag. But we have to first hang both ends up to the poles. So I've rigged up the rear guy line with a wee carabiner as well, just to hang it up, and that seems quite taut. To be fair, I'm just going to continue to use the wee cheap pegs with it, because actually tying it out to the sides is not getting a very good pitch on this inner. So we'll just continue to use those little tiny thin pegs. I might even replace them with titanium needles. And then when you go to the front, I've disconnected the front door. I'll bring you around and show you. So that then goes up and stretches out and connects to this pole here, again with a carabiner. And I'll put the sleeping bag and the mat inside. It's quite tight, but it's very, very warm for obvious reasons. My only worry is condensation. I'm thinking I maybe should have gone with a full mesh in it. But my thinking is that it will become the ground cloth anyway, so it just means I've got a dry mat to sit everything on, cook, whatever, store gear, just generally spend time. And then if I need the extra warmth, I can pull this up at night, get inside the inner, zip that up, and we're well sealed for colder or windier conditions, which means I can use a lighter sleeping bag. So there you can see it in the kind of pitched position, and you just pop your mat and your sleeping bag inside. The whole kit and caboodle, excluding the mat, the actual shelter system is under £100. So welcome back. I'm out and about to try and find a wee spot to test this tent, and it's the best day of the remainder of the week, so I thought it's probably ideal just to get out in the RAB. It'll be the first time. So I'm on the West Highland Way, and I'm just going to try and seek out a spot somewhere along here, hopefully with a wee view, just to make the camp more interesting. What a cracking spring-like day. It must be 16 degrees and it's really warm. I'm dying of thirst already. I've only been out 10 minutes. Oh, that'll work. Time for a wee slug of water. Almost there. 5 minutes. From memory of one of my last videos in this area, I camped right here, but I think there was a space further down, which I'm just going to see if it's available and how it looks. Let's have a wee look. Should be able to squeeze the tent in here. Whew. Hard work. As you can probably hear, it's a very gusty wind. There's a wee bit of tree cover here, but not an awful lot, so it'll give the RAB a good test. We'll just see how noisy it is. I could be in for a sleepless night. However, I really want to see whether this tent is a keeper for the summer. as my very lightweight setup, 600 odd grams, as I think I've said previously. And then the other inner, which I've got with me, probably take it up to nearer a kilo, but it's still my lightest option at the moment, and it would sleep too. The more I've pitched this, the more I get confused. It looks totally skew with there with 4 pegs. I just want to put 4 in loosely and then get the poles in just to get an idea if I've roughly got the right width and shape. But it seems to get harder every time I do it. Right, I think that's better. That looks more like your average rectangle instead of a parallelogram. Yeah, as it turns out, that's way too wide that I've pitched it. I don't know what the hell I've done. Right, back to the drawing board. Okay, that looks a wee bit more sensible. Just need a bit of totting up on the poles, a bit of tilting on the poles, and then just tweaking the pegs. But looks alright. I don't know how it's going to do in this wind. It's very fluky, it keeps changing direction. I'm also glad I tied these extras onto the tent as well, because there's a case in point. Big rock, could not get the peg in, but with the extra loop on it, managed to get it behind it. There really is room for 2 in here. Maybe not as tall as I would normally have it. I'm in a bit of a ditch here. I need to play around with this pole as well. Just see if I can tilt it out a bit more. That's better. I think that just gives the ridge a bit more tension if you move the pole slightly off the vertical towards the front and back peak. Anyway, yeah, actually loads of room. I was really nervous about using this because I always think it looks kind of claustrophobic. And although, as you can see, it's difficult to get out, actually, in terms of internal space, let me just show you. There's tons in there for 2 people. So we'll leave this down as a ground sheet just now, and then tonight we can just pitch this up and get inside it for extra heat. So I've been here about half an hour, just sorting stuff out. I'm just going to get the rest of my gear out. I tell you what I have spotted though, and this is what worries me about using tarp style shelters, is I've already found 2 ticks on my body, which I've removed. Now I can pick them up generally, but if you're inside a mesh inner in a tent, then largely you can control it to some extent. But so it seems a bit coincidental that I'm just sitting about in a kind of open space and I've found 2 of the little boogers crawling on me already. Guys, I want to share some exciting news with you. New bit of kit, cutting edge, I think you'll really like it. It's an £8 radio from eBay. Yoo-hoo! Right, first course on, and instead of spending £8.50, I've gone back to basics, guys. Pot noodle, £1.50. Oh, I just want to say a shout out to Jason and Andy, who I've just met. They're camped just about 100 yards away from me. They're doing the West Highland Way, and Andy recognised me from my YouTube channel, so thanks guys for saying hello and for watching the channel as well, supporting it. They're on day 1 of the West Highland. They've got some great gear with them, really light base weights, so they're really well kitted up, and I think this was their 4th time doing it, so they really know what they're up to. Apart from the ticks attacking me, I'm surprised just how comfortable it is under a simple tarp. You forget the basics, but it's actually really nice and very spacious, if slightly limited on headroom. Cheers. Ah, that's good. deploying the anti-tick device, basically known as the £12.50 Amazon Inner. Hopefully that'll keep most of the baddies out of here. Let's get the sleeping bag out and put it inside this inner. I think that might be a wee godsend tonight. Less so from the cold, more so from the ticks, unfortunately. Anyway, one way or another, it probably was a good £12.50 investment, I hope. Right guys, that's me. I'm kind of in something akin to a bivvy bag. Just hope it, I don't know whether to zip it up or leave it open, because it obviously won't breathe. Right, I'm off to bed guys. I will see you in the morning. Not sure if this thing is going to get zipped up or not. It feels a bit claustrophobic. I'm not used to this bivvy bag idea. No condensation, folks. Right, let's get outside. Okay, it's time for me to head folks. It's 8:30. Just about tidied up. I'm just going to take the RAB down. What did I think of it? Yeah, actually amazingly comfortable overnight. Even in that wind it was relatively quiet. Just enough headroom, 2 vestibules at either end, tons of space at the side for one. For about the 690 grams I think it is, possibly less. It was actually surprisingly comfortable. So I had been thinking about selling it. I didn't really want to use it. I kept kind of putting it to the back of the cupboard. But I think actually I'll hang on to it. And I may well use it throughout the summer as long as it's midgie free or I get some sort of mesh inner. £12.50 Amazon Inner was a complete waste of time. I realised my mistake as soon as I got in it, and half an hour into it suddenly realised there was condensation on the inside of it which was soaking my down bag. So by, I don't know, 1 in the morning, took the inner down, just used it as a ground mat completely and just lay on top of my thermarest and slept purely as a tarp, and it was comfortable as anything. Great, really good. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to head back to reality unfortunately, and I'll see you out there for the next one. Cheers.